your neighbor and repeat after me. Say, neighbor, there is none like him. Amen. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. As we begin to look at our text and topic, we find ourselves in the midst, if you dare, of one thing that is for sure, in being a child of God. And that is that there is none like him. But before I take it another further, I got to ask the question in this house on this morning, is there anybody that can testify to the fact that out of all the things that you tried and experienced in life, that you found out that there's nobody that can do you like Jesus can do you? Is there anybody that can be honest enough to say, you know what, Pastor, I found out in life nobody can measure up like Jesus can? If that's you, just nudge your neighbor and tell your neighbor there's none like him. In this house on this morning, I deposit in your spirit there's some reasons why, Brother Terry, I know that there is none like him. First off, in being a child of God, I've recognized and I realized that my God, he's gooder than good. Yeah. And he's better than bad. And he's sweeter than sweet. In him being gooder than good. What do you mean, Pastor? He said in his word, that in which I made is good and very good. What do you mean, Pastor? He's better than bad. He said in his word, if you destroy this temple, in 3 days I will bring it back. What do you mean, Pastor? He's sweeter than sweet. Sweeter in him craving sweetness. He has a sweeter than any honeycomb. And I don't know about you, but in my life I know beyond the shadow of a doubt, out of everything that I've been through, that there is none like Jesus the Christ. What do you mean, Pastor? He speaks and it is so. He steps out and it is so. He touches just with one touch and he heals. He kills and you got it. He takes when you don't need it. He saves and you're satisfied. This Jesus, he's light in darkness. He's shelter in storm. He's bread when you're hungry. He's water when you're thirsty. He's a savior when you're stressed out. He's family when you're feeling lonely. Is there anybody in this house on this morning that can be honest enough to say, you know what, Pastor, I know it's Memorial Day weekend, but I need to get on my feet and give God a praise because I understand that when nobody else was there, Jesus did it. Jesus came through. He made a way out of no way. And if it had not been for the Lord on my side, where would I be? Here in the text, y'all, we find Jesus in the midst of the text, coming off miracles and healing. Let me ask this question in this house on this morning. How many of y'all believe in miracles? Amen. Do you believe in miracles? How many of y'all truly believe in miracles? Whether or not you believe it or not, there is some kind of situation, there's some kind of position that all of us may have been put in life to where we were able to understand that it was nothing but a miracle. You knew it wasn't nothing but God. You ever been in a situation where the doctors gave up on somebody? They said that they didn't have nothing but maybe 1 or 2 weeks, and then this person 2 years later is still living, still walking around. I believe in miracles. Truth be told, I want you to know this. You are looking at a miracle. If it had not been for God making and molding you and I into the individuals that we are on today, none of us will be able to become a living testimony to share with somebody about the goodness of Jesus. Here, right smack dead center in the text, we find Jesus the Christ in the midst of coming off of miracles and healing, revival, and up jumps the devil in the midst of a storm. How many of you can be honest enough to say it was that time where everything was going right in your life? I mean, everything was going good. Everything was going right. The job was good. The household was good. The relationship was good. The kids was good. Everything was going right. But in the midst of everything going right, did you not know that wrong still tries to play a part? Every time you try to do good, what happens? Evil is always present. When you tell yourself, I'm ridding myself, my atmosphere of negative people, I'm ridding myself of certain situations, and every time you step out and you try to do good, up jumps the devil, and evil is always present. You look in the text, you find you got to read and study the text. You find in the midst of the text, here it was, there was a revival. Jesus had all of his disciples. Everything was going good. People had become saved. And in the midst of the text, all Jesus wanted was to be able to go to the other side and just to get some rest. And even in the midst of Jesus trying to get some rest and relaxation, up jumps the devil. The devil came by way of a storm, and even in the atmosphere of a storm, you will still find out that there is none like Jesus. What do you mean, Pastor? First off, in the text, I must explain to you that in God, being God, through his Son, Jesus Christ, he is able to still the storm. He's able. How many of you have been in a storm? You're in a storm right now, or you just came out of a storm, or you seem as though there are some cloudy days around you. Did you not know that even in the midst of your storm, that Jesus is still there? He's still there. What do you mean, Pastor? I'm in a storm. If I can just deposit in your spirit on this Sunday morning that Jesus is a storm stopper. How many believe that on this morning? He's a storm stopper. Every time what the devil meant for your bad, God will make it good. And I'm here by no surprise to share with you and to deposit in your spirit that when the devil begins to get busy, Jesus goes to work. How many times have you told the devil, you warned the devil, you might want to be careful messing with me. You better get your hands up off of me because I'm a child of the Most High God. I belong to Jesus. And if he even gets a mention, if he even get a hint that you bother me, he's going to work. Amen. Do I have any Jesus did it, folk, in this house on this morning? You know it was nobody but Jesus. You know beyond a shadow of doubt. It wasn't your family members. It wasn't your co-worker. I'm talking about you know that it was nobody but Jesus. Here we are being there in the midst of the text, and we find a storm. Right now, as I'm preaching this sermon, I'm battling with a fly flying around. Don't know how he got in here, but the devil is alive. But Jesus, now you with me, Deacon Darrell, is able. He's able to stop the storm. You believe it on this morning? Jesus is able to stop the storm. Think about your greatest storm. Can I teach this lesson? Think about your greatest storm that you have had in life when you wanted to give in, you wanted to give up, you wanted to throw in the towels, but nobody did it but Jesus. Yes. Thank you, Lord. And here it is. I'm going to break it down where you can really understand it. Yes. If anybody could handle a storm, you would think that the disciples would be able to handle. Wow. Here you are, you're a member of a church, you go to every service that you can go to, you pray, you fast, you praise, and you worship, you believe everything that the Bible says, but the midst that a storm arise or arose, why is it that we act like we cannot handle a storm? I imagine how Jesus felt. Just think about it this way. The work's been done. Doesn't have revival. The work is done. All Jesus wanted to do was to go to the other side and to be able to get some rest and relaxation. Anybody, Martricia, ever been through a situation to where all you wanted to do, you just wanted to get some rest and some relaxation, and then before you know it, all hell broke loose? Man, if I can just get to the other side. There are some of us, we got some secret places that we can go. Some secret places we can go and we just need to get some rest. Sometimes I do it. Sometimes I'll turn the phone off and I'll just come over to the church and I'll just make sure the doors are locked up, go back in my office and just get some rest. And lo and behold, somebody's going down to the church property. They see one of Pastor Bills at the church and they're going to knock on the door. Can I just get some rest? Jesus said, I have prepared you. Think about it. All of his disciples had been prepared to be able to face of storms. What are you saying, Pastor? You don't need me all the time when you're going through a storm. You need Jesus. Amen. He can do it. Amen. Tell your neighbor he can do it. He can do it. You're looking at an example that he can do it. Here it is. Jesus is able to still the storm. What you mean? Not S-T-E-A-L, but S-T-I-L-L-S. He stills the storm. We serve a God that is a storm stopper. What do you mean, Pastor? He stills it. In life and events, one become excited when someone steals the show. S-T-E-A-L. But we have to become just as excited when we're understanding that we are either coming out of a storm or we are going through a storm. You know how it is in life. There's always one friend or one family member. They always late for everything. I don't care if it's a gathering or whatever the situation may be. But have you figured out the reason why the family member is always late for everything? It's because they want to make sure everybody's there so that when they get there, they can steal it. Because they know somebody gonna make a comment. Oh, they got matching colors on. Here she go again. There's always one that'll try to steal the show. Jesus tells his disciples, he shares with them that he's able to steal this storm. All of us, we have to deal with storms. But I found out that in being a child of God, these storms that we go through, did you not know these storms, they come to make us stronger? Think about the last storm you went through in life. If it had not been for the storm, you wouldn't be the individual that you are on today. Look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, you'll get stronger, you'll get stronger, you'll get stronger. I know you're going through. I know you got problems. I know you got issues. I know things are chaotic. I know things are going on. But trust me, my brother and my sister, this is only a storm, and storm comes to make you stronger. Maybe you need a witness while you're in this storm, but we may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Maybe you need a witness while you're in this storm. The race is not given to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but he that endureth to the end. Maybe you need a witness in the storm. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. Storms come to make you stronger. So what are you saying, Pastor? This time around, instead of the storm telling you, it's your time to tell the storm. Instead of the storm dictating to you, it's your time to dictate to the storm. They had already been forewarned about the storm. Verse 24, he said, "Oh, there arose a great tempest in the sea, inasmuch that the ship was covered with the waves, but he was asleep." There's some of our older folk that can be honest enough to say this. Some of the best sleep that you ever got in life was when there was a storm. All right. Think about it. That's what the old folk used to say. You can let the windows up. Now you can't let the windows up and go to sleep. Talk to me, church. Do it if you want to. Somebody be in there sleeping with you. You can't let the windows up no more. Amen, somebody. But you used to be able to let the windows up when it was storming, when it was raining. You used to be able to get some of the greatest rest that you could ever get in life. So instead of the storm telling you, God is saying, it's now time for you to switch places with the storm, and don't let the storm dictate to you, but you have to tell the storm to go away. In other words, he was sharing with his disciples, he was sharing that I know that you know me as the storm stopper, but I have deposited some things on the inside of you to where you should be able to go ahead and sleep through this storm. So we look at storms in our life. There ain't no worse feeling for you to be going through a storm and for some knucklehead to bring out their mouth, what did you do to deserve this? Amen. All storms are not self-inflicted. Some storms, they come in our life to make us better individuals, to make us better creatures. Some that are physical storms. There are spiritual storms. Sometimes storms, they come in our life not to tear us down, but to build us up. And every time you're dealing with a spiritual storm, it's always the devil that come in that try to change the forecast. But the difference between the devil and the Lord is the devil has no power. But we serve a God who has all power. In other words, he is able to do all things but fail. In this storm, it is so crucial that we know the weatherman and the meteorologist. But the child of God says, okay, you stick with the weatherman, you stick with the meteorologist, and I will stick with the weatherman because I understand that the weatherman is up above in heaven and he is able to do all things but fail. So the weatherman is a storm stopper. They woke him up in the text, going through the storm. It's kind of like in life. You had to share with somebody before you was all the way saved. You mean to tell me you called me and interrupted me to come over here for this? Anybody ever been down that road? You called me like somebody. You called me like it was 7 of them. Anybody talk to me at church? You called me like it was 7 of them after me. And I get over here and this is the reason why you disturbed me. That's kind of like what Jesus was saying to his disciples. You mean to tell me that you're waking me up out of my sleep because of this? All it is a storm. Sometimes life will become rocky. The waves will begin to make you rock and reel. But even in the midst of it, we must understand whom we have on our side. Amen. So what are you saying, Pastor? This storm that you're dealing with right now in your life, this storm came by to allow you to be able to get something out of it. And even in the midst of it, and there ain't no worse feeling than to be woke up out of good sleep. Anybody ever been there? The kids, the grandkids, or somebody that woke you up out of a good sleep. And then you become mad, aggravated, and angry because when you went through a season of getting some good sleep, you can never get it back. You can never. Anybody ever been there? You can never get it back. Even though you try to go back to sleep, they done stole it and you can never get it back. Jesus was able to wake up, handle his business, and go back to sleep. So what are you saying, Pastor? Why are you trying to figure this thing out, man? God done already worked it out. God says there's no need for you to continue to worry, stressing yourself out like you've been doing here the last month or so. He says, I'm still God. I'm still able to do all things but fail. He is able to still the storm. He's a storm stopper. Secondly, and I'm done. I know you all got to get home to them grills. Not only does he still the storm. This is what makes God so better than everybody else. He saves the saints. Amen. Think about what I just said. He knew they was in the midst of the storm. He had to allow them to go through the experience. I remember before I was the man that I am on today, there could be a life situation that would happen, and I would always question God. Anybody ever questioned God before? Amen. Do I have any why me saints in here? You'd be honest enough to say something would happen, and you would say, why me, Lord? But now that I am the man that I am on today, I begin to understand, Martrice, instead of saying, why me, Lord? Why not you? Amen. When you understand that all of us have been God built. In other words, we are God built to be able to handle whatever it is that the devil throws at us. Look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, I'm God built. I'm God. I'm God built. I'm God built. You know, folk looking around wondering how you still standing, because they know somebody been gossiping about you and your situation and what's going on in your household. You know, somebody been talking about you, and then you begin to go out and folk looking at you like your spaceship, looking at you like you're crazy, trying to figure out how it is I don't mow this person out, I don't beat them down. What is it that's keeping them up? I'm God built. I'm God. Am I preaching to any God-built folk that don't mind getting on your feet just to tell the Lord, thank you for building me, God. Thank you for molding me. Thank you for making me. Because a lot of people couldn't go through what I went through. A lot of people would have gave up a long time ago. And even though you talk about me, even though you mistreat me, one thing is for certain, I want you to know who my maker and my creator is. I am God-built. Amen. I'm God-built. Y'all, we're going to have some storms. We're going to have some good days. We're going to have some bad days. But when you recognize who your God is, there ain't no doubt about it. It ain't no if. There's not no if. I know that God is able to do all things. I know that God can pick you up and turn you around and place your feet on solid ground. I know that God is able to heal your body. I know that God is able to give you a peace of mind. I know that God is able to save, to deliver, to set free. Does anybody know that God is able? I'm God built. That's why I can still come around and look at you and know that you don't mean me no good. Know that you're talking about me. Know that you're trying to put me in a situation. I'm God built, man. I've been through the storm and the rain. I've been drugged through the mud. But the reason why I'm still standing is because I'm God built.
Thank you, Lord. Yes, sir.
God built. I'm God built. You find yourself having to share with your family members. Y'all out here acting crazy because of a certain situation, man. I know that God is able to handle a situation, man. I ain't worried about mama. I ain't worried about dad. I ain't worried about my granny. I know that God is able to handle the situation. Truth be told, you need to get in church to get you some Jesus like mama got, to get you some Jesus like daddy got. Am I preaching to anybody in this house? Man, I'm God built. And all of us, we know somebody that we've shared with a time or two in our life. Right now, you got a sister, you got a brother, you got a cousin, you got an aunt, you got an uncle that couldn't go through what you've been through in life. Talk to me, somebody. The moment that someone jump off, they ready to give in and give up. The devil is a liar. When I go through a situation, I fall down on my knees and I cry out to God. And I look up and I say, it's me, it's me, it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. Amen. And every now and then I go back to that old prayer. Father, I stretch my hand to thee. No other help. No other help I know. Is anybody here honest enough to say, you know what, Pastor, I know what prayer can do. Do I have any prayer warriors in here when the devil tried to steal you, the devil tried to kill you, tried to take over your household, tried to take over your kids, tried to take over your job? Is there anybody in here that know what prayer can do? Truth be told, tap your neighbor on the shoulder and tell your neighbor, you looking at a prayer. Yeah, I ain't talking about no now lay me down to sleep. I'm talking about you looking at a prayer. Lord, this is your child. I need you right now.
Yeah, amen.
Right now, Lord. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Preached this morning around 8:30 over that other church, and I talked about I fell for it. There's some things. Oh, yeah, your pastor broke it off to him early this morning. He was still trying to get to church. But there are some things in life that we will fall for. But what makes God so good is simply this. When we fall in life, He'll bring us back up. Anybody ever fallen before in life? But you're thankful on today that you're up. Oh yeah, you're thankful on today that you're up. When you look back over your life and you see how far God has brought you, you can't help but give God the glory. And every time I give God the glory, I'm telling the devil, you don't know my story. When somebody says it don't take all that, the devil is a liar. Where was you when I almost lost my mind? Where was you when I stayed up all night tossing and turning? It takes all this, that, these, and those.
Amen.
So, even though there's a storm going on, He shares with His disciples. He says, I'm here. I'm here to save you. How many of you believe that God saves? Let me ask that question again. How many of you believe and know beyond the shadow of a doubt that God saves? Oh yes. How many of you have shared with somebody, if God can save me, he can save anybody? Because I think we all got a story within our lives that says we used to be a mess. Anybody ever been down that mess boulevard where everything that you did, it turned into a mess? But God, he saves the saint. In verse 26, yeah, Jesus, he became upset. First off, he was upset, and I'm done, for being woke up out of a good sleep while he was trying to get some rest. And even in the midst of him knowing that there was a storm. Second off, he was upset because of their faith. Oftentimes when we go through life situations, we find ourselves sharing with individuals. The only thing that kept me was not my money. It was not my relationship. It was not my family. But the only thing that kept me when I went through that situation was my faith. Do I have any believers in this house that can be honest enough to say, you know what, Pastor Ned, I think about it. When I was getting ready to go through that bad season, it was my faith that kept me. When I was headed down divorce lane, it was my faith that kept me. When I got accused and was misused on the job, it was my faith that kept me. Jesus was upset, yes, because they woke him up for a little storm when he was trying to get some sleep. But the real reason why he was upset with his disciples was because of their faith. And even in the moment of the storm, Jesus shared with them. He says, "O ye of little faith." Here you are, you say you believe in God, but you don't believe in yourself. Can you convince yourself that whatever the situation is you're dealing with right now, can you convince yourself that you can do it? The Bible teaches us that we have to have enough faith the size of a mustard seed. When you get out here before you get to the charcoal, Google mustard seed and see how small a mustard seed is. God is saying a mustard seed is so small that you can't even see it. God is saying, here you are whining, murmuring, crying, complaining, talking about you don't know what you're going to do. The devil is a liar. It's time for your faith to meet up with that situation. Amen. And I stand here as a living example. Faith can do it. You believe it on this morning. Faith can do it. Why are you giving up on a relationship so easy? Why are you giving up on the job so easy? Why are you giving up on doing what God has called you to do so easy? It's because you have a lack of faith. We understand what the scripture says about faith, Hebrews 11:1. It says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. These disciples was getting ready to go through a storm, but they lacked in faith. The 6th verse of that same 11th chapter of Hebrews says, but without faith, it is impossible to please God. Bible 101, and I'm done. If you don't have nothing left, not a penny in your pocket, make sure that you have some faith. Because faith will make a way. Faith will open doors. Faith will get you where you need to be. His disciples had to experience a test of their faith. You have to know in the storm that there is a Savior that is able to save the saints. In other words, speak to that storm. Things will calm down, but you got to speak to it. You got to rebuke it. And you know how it is in life? At the last verse. It's always after the storm that somebody always got something to say. It's always verse 27 in that same text. Oftentimes in life we've had to ask individuals, where were you when I was going through? Anybody ever been down that road? Well, now you got all the answers. Now you all up in my space talking about what you don't even know because you're going off of what you heard. Where were you when it really went down? Where were you when I got treated like I wasn't? Where were you at? But now when I'm coming out of the storm, verse 27, Jesus done still the storm. He done made no way out of no way. Somebody still has something to say. So what are you saying, Pastor? It doesn't matter how good you do what you do. Somebody's still going to have something to say. Rid yourself of individuals that always got something to say. And what they are saying don't make any sense. As old folk would say, don't mean a hill of beans. I ain't figured that saying out yet. But they always got something to say. Verse 27, here it is. But the men marveled, saying, storm is over. Jesus already fixed it. It's over and done. 27, but the men marveled, saying, what manner of man is this, that even the winds and the seas obey? Back in the day, they used to have a song, come on, choir, we all for Christ. Back in the day, they used to have a song that said, she's a bad mama jamma. That's what I say about this situation. They were asking the question, what manner of man is this, that even the winds and the seas obey? As we started out by saying, he is Jesus the Christ, Lord and Savior.